If you are looking for a discreet motorcycle, you can stop watching here. For everyone else who is perhaps looking for the exact opposite, the Breakout 117 is definitely a cruiser you should know about. The test ride from Santa Barbara really did offer everything that motorcycling in California is all about. Of course, I tracked the route with incredible views and wonderful detours into the winding backcountry on Kalimoto. If you ever get to ride a motorcycle in this part of the world, you can follow the fantastic route that Harley Davidson came up with for us. There's no better place to introduce a head turner like the Harley Davidson Breakout 117 in the Sunshine State. Customizing, whether on 2 or 4 wheels, is one of these central cultural achievements here. Legend or legendary places like Santa Monica, Venice Beach, or Santa Barbara invite you to see and be seen. The locals simply have good taste, coolness, and a good dose of madness combined with the liberal laws on customizing rides. This creates an ideal breeding ground for fascinating projects. In the saddle of the Harley Davidson Breakout 117, there is no need to hide, even in its standard condition. The huge 21-inch cast rim consisting of 26 aluminum struts can be considered the Breakout's highlight. The look comes very close to the elegance of a spoked rim without missing that certain something. This uniqueness is achieved by the fact that the elements are alternately painted black and brushed aluminum. If you let your gaze wander upwards along the long chrome-plated 49mm fork, you will immediately notice the massive handlebars, which are now mounted 1.9 centimeters higher and are also finished entirely in chrome. The absolutely minimalist LC display blends in perfectly with the clean look of the Breakout. Directly under the handlebars, the view of the 2023 meets a significantly larger tank, which now holds 18.9 liters. Fortunately, the side view has not suffered from this practical measure, and the classic look of a Harley fuel tank has been retained. If you look at the Breakout in profile on the Sunshine, don't forget to apply a good coat of sunscreen. The number of chrome-plated machines surrounding the massive 117 cubic centimeter Milwaukee 8 engine is enough to make any Harley fan's heart beat faster. As has been customary in softail models for years, the central shock absorber is so well hidden in the rear that the clean look of old cruisers is completely retained, while the rider can at least hope for some suspension comfort. Due to the sheer dimensions of the US cruiser, the Breakout is no lightweight at 310 kilograms. In this respect, the transplantation of the largest V2 engine currently available as standard does it good. The legendary 117 cubic centimeter V2 with a displacement of 1923 cubic centimeters and a maximum torque of 166. Newton meter is sure to make every rider's heartbeat faster. In direct comparison with its 114cc counterpart, you can feel the additional power of the unit more clearly than the bare data would suggest. As we were also able to ride other softails with the 114C engine when testing the Breakout, a test of strength was inevitable, which the Breakout easily won. One particularly eye-catching highlight is the heavy breather air filter mounted prominently on the right-hand side of the engine. Despite the huge 240 rear tire, the Breakout can easily draw black lines in the intersections of this world. The traction control already installed on our test vehicle will be available as an option from summer 2023. Cruise control, on the other hand, comes as standard and is a worthy addition, especially on endless highway or freeway stages. The discrete control unit is familiar from other Harley-Davidson models and is characterized by its simple operation. ABS is also on board as standard. Due to the lack of an IMU, all assistance systems work without taking the lean angle of the ride into account. The ergonomics of the Harley-Davidson Breakout have been made more suitable for everyday use. Harley-Davidson has given the Breakout an enlarged tank, which increases the cruiser's range to well over 200 kilometers. But can you even last that long in the saddle of this stylish motorcycle? The ergonomics are typical of a cruiser, so you sit stretched over the tank and the footrests are moved forward in line with the class. However, the handlebars, which have been moved upwards by almost 2 centimeters, significantly diffuse the situation. There has been a significant improvement here compared to its predecessor. However, the Harley is still only recommended to a limited extent for people of short stature. Of course, this is not due to the really beginner friendly seat height of 665 millimeter, but to the width of the handlebars. In tight bends, the rider needs a certain span to be able to use the full steering angle of the motorcycle. In the case of the Breakout, however, this is very important in order to reduce the turning circle to a tolerable level, especially in city traffic. When maneuvering and turning, handling the machine otherwise becomes a real chore. Tall people or those with long legs may have the challenge of their shins coming into contact with the heavy breather when applying the rear brake. In summary, however, the ergonomics of the Breakout are successful and comfortable for a cruiser. The first few meters on the Harley take some getting used to, but once you get going, this type of motorcycle is a real pleasure to ride. With a wheelbase of 1695 millimeters, you might get the idea that the Breakout is made exclusively for straight line riding. Even if the straight line stability is exemplary, the cruiser is surprisingly willing around corners. In particular, I would not have expected this handling from the not quite narrow 21-inch front wheel. On faster turns, you are tempted to lean more than the Breakout's design allows. The position of the feet on the footrest due to the forward position of the footrest turns the heel into a lean angle indicator. This means that you can approach the maximum lean relatively safely step by step. If you want to move the Harley in a sporty manner, which its powerful V2 engine occasionally tempts you to do, you will notice that the performance of the brakes cannot quite keep up with the 107 TC Beauty. The 300 millimeter single disc at the front struggles to slow the bike down. Braking at the rear is therefore mandatory on the cruiser, where a 292 millimeter disc is almost as large. Actuated together and in combination with the massive engine braking effect of the giant V2, you can have a lot of fun. Nevertheless, if the cruiser wants to be beautiful, the braking performance has to suffer somewhat. The same applies to the work of the suspension elements. While the fork with its 130 millimeters of spring travel still has a reasonable amount of damping, there are clear limits to the rear shock. On a positive note, the preload of the rear shock can be adjusted without tools using a practical hand wheel. In summary, the suspension offers an acceptable compromise between firmness and damping at a level that tests the spine. Style has its price, and riding a Harley has never been a cheap pleasure. The new Breakout 117 is no exception. The value retention is above average as a look at the offers on the 1,000 Ps marketplace for the Harley Davidson Breakout 117 shows. Thank you for watching this comparison. If you have any questions, comment below. We will try to answer everything. Appreciate your support. If you enjoyed our content, please consider giving us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos in the future. Stay tuned for more.